We create our own reality. These words may seem simple, yet they hold a profound truth that can transform the course of any life. Imagine two people standing side by side, facing the exact same set of circumstances. They see the same mountain. In front of them, the same steep slopes, the same treacherous paths. Perhaps they hear the same rumble of avalanches, signaling danger, uncertainty, and risk. Yet their experiences of that mountain could not be more different. One sees a daunting obstacle, insurmountable, and filled with fear, a place where struggle shadows every step. The other sees adventure, opportunity, and the promise of reaching a magnificent summit. This difference exists not in the mountain itself, but in the perception of the individuals. What they believe is possible shapes their reality. It is the lens through which we view the world that determines what we can accomplish, how we respond to challenges, and what horizons we dare to pursue. Our thoughts and beliefs serve as architects of our reality. When we cultivate a mindset that recognizes challenges as opportunities for growth, fear transforms into courage, doubt fades, replaced by determination. The mountain changes from an enemy into a companion on a journey of discovery. The ability to shape reality through perception is an empowering insight, one that can inspire deep transformation, success, and resilience. To illustrate this, let us look to the remarkable life of Valentina Tereshkova, the first woman to journey into space. Born in a small village in Russia in 1937, Valentina's early life was far from the grandeur we might associate with astronauts. She grew up during World War II, losing her father in the conflict and later working in a textile factory. However, instead of seeing her humble beginnings and the challenges they posed as limitations, she chose to see them as the foundation for something extraordinary. Her reality was shaped by an unyielding belief in possibility. Valentina embraced every opportunity to learn and grow, taking flying lessons and joining parachuting clubs. Her determination and vision propelled her forward in a time and place when space travel was steeped in risk and uncertainty. Valentina's journey to becoming the first woman in space is an extraordinary example of how perception shapes reality. While many might have viewed the cosmos as an inaccessible frontier reserved for the bravest and most privileged men, she saw it as a realm open to anyone with courage and conviction. She reframed societal expectations and personal doubts, embracing the unknown with the spirit of adventure. When she finally soared 200 miles above the Earth aboard Vostok 6 in 1963, she was not just a pioneering astronaut. She was the living embodiment of the idea that what we perceive shapes what is possible. Her experience echoes deeply with the message that reality is not a fixed, objective fact, but a dynamic construct, influenced by mindset. The mountain, or in her case, the vast expanse of space, was not a barrier, but an invitation. What others saw as fearsome, she saw as an opportunity to inspire and break boundaries. This shift in perspective allowed her to transcend limitations and alter not only her reality, but also the reality of countless women and men across the world who witnessed her groundbreaking flight. At the heart of Valentina's achievement lies a powerful mindset that anyone, regardless of background, can adopt. When we stand before the mountains in our lives, whether they are personal hardships, career challenges, or societal barriers, the choice of perception is ours. We can view these mountains as dead ends or as invitations to climb higher. Much like Valentina embraced the unknown of outer space, we too can change our relationship with fear and uncertainty, transforming what once seemed limiting into a gateway of possibility. The significance of creating our own reality extends beyond individual success. It touches relationships, communities, and collective progress. When we perceive others through a lens of suspicion or prejudice, the reality we create can be narrow and fractured. But when we approach one another with empathy, curiosity, and an open heart, the reality changes. We build bridges, foster understanding, and unlock potential that benefits everyone. Just as Valentina's journey helped shift perceptions about women's roles in science, technology, and leadership, Every act of positive perception has the power to reshape social realities. It is important to recognize that changing perception is not always easy. It requires intentional effort, self-reflection, and resilience. The avalanche of negative voices, whether external critics or internal doubts, can be deafening. But within each of us lies the ability to claim the story we tell ourselves, to adjust the focus of our inner lens, and to choose hope over despair. This does not mean ignoring danger or risk, but rather redefining them as parts of a larger journey of growth. As we prepare to climb the mountains in our own lives, it helps to remember that every great achievement starts with a shift in belief. Valentina Tereshkova's ascent was not just a technical or physical feat. It began with her seeing herself as capable, her dream as valid, and her reality as expandable. In the same way, each of us can invite possibility by consciously crafting our perceptions, focusing not on obstacles, but on paths forward. When we train our minds to see opportunity in adversity, we create a reality that supports innovation, courage, and progress. In practical terms, this means that when you face challenges, pause for a moment and ask yourself, what am I choosing to see right now? Am I focusing on the avalanche's destruction or the new trails its movement might reveal? Am I listening to voices that limit me or affirm my potential? Just as Valentina turned her doubts into daring and her ordinary circumstances into aim. Extraordinary journey. You too can change your narrative at any moment to unlock a new reality. The power to create our reality is a call to action. It invites us to become active participants in shaping our futures rather than passive observers of circumstance. It demands courage to look fear in the face and choose adventure. It requires imagination to see beyond the immediate and visualize success. And it nurtures resilience to keep climbing when the path is steep and the terrain uncertain. This truth holds not just for heroes like Valentina Tereshkova, but for every human being. Whether your mountain is an internal struggle, a professional goal, or a personal dream, remember that your perception is the key to what lies beyond. Your reality will expand or contract by the stories you tell yourself about who you are and what you can achieve. So today, as you stand before your own mountains, consider the legacy of Valentina Tereshkova. She embraced a reality not constrained by the fears or limitations of her time. Instead, she envisioned a new possibility and brought it to life against remarkable odds. Let her story ignite the belief that your reality too is yours to shape. Whatever mountain you face, see the path to the summit. Embrace the adventure. Recognize that what you perceive shapes what is possible, and in doing so, step boldly into the life you are meant to live. To truly internalize the power of perception. In creating reality, we must explore how the mind influences the outcomes we experience. The human brain is a remarkable organ, wired to scan for threats and anticipate challenges. This survival mechanism has helped us thrive for millennia, but can also trap us within limited perspectives. When we focus on danger, risk, and fear, our brain narrows its field of vision, making the mountain before us appear insurmountable. However, when we actively choose to focus on possibility, growth, and resilience, our mind rewires itself, expanding our vision and revealing routes we could never previously see. Valentina Tereshkova's story is a brilliant testament to this. Her background was not one of privilege, yet she nurtured a vision that transcended ordinary limits. When she gazed up at the sky or trained her eyes on the horizon of possibility, she rewired her mind to believe in what others couldn't imagine. That act of choosing perception over circumstance turned her dream into reality. This principle extends far beyond space travel. Think about inventors who faced repeated failure, athletes who overcame injury, or everyday people who transformed their lives by changing their mindset. Each success story reveals the essential role of mindset in shaping not just what happens, but how it happens. The mountain, the avalanche, the challenge, these are constants. But the way we interpret and respond to them makes all the difference. In the workplace, for example, Two employees might face the same difficult project. One sees a bureaucratic mess, a potential for failure, tight deadlines, and stress. The other sees an opportunity to learn new skills, innovate, and demonstrate resilience. The project's outcome will reflect these perceptions. The person who sees possibility will adapt, lead, and find solutions, reshaping the reality of the situation. The other may see only obstacles and feel overwhelmed, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of struggle. Our perceptions influence not only how we approach challenges, but how we find meaning amidst them. Meaning shapes motivation, and motivation fuels action. Valentina's journey was not just about being the first woman in space. It was about breaking barriers and inspiring generations. Her perception of her mission was larger than personal achievement. It was a symbol of progress and possibility. This deeper meaning gave her strength when fear and uncertainty surrounded her.
Creating our own reality also means recognizing that we have the capacity to change our narrative at any moment. If you find yourself stuck viewing the mountain as a place of danger, try to retrain your mind to search for paths and footholds. Instead, start small. Celebrate the steps you take rather than fixate on the entire climb. Surround yourself with people who see potential and encourage growth. Like Valentina, who was supported by mentors and fellow cosmonauts, we all benefit from a community that reinforces positive perceptions. If you find yourself stuck viewing the mountain as a place of danger, try to retrain your mind to search for paths and footholds instead. Start small. Celebrate the steps you take rather than fixate on the entire climb. Surround yourself with people who see potential and encourage growth. Like Valentina, who was supported by mentors and fellow cosmonauts, we all benefit from a community that reinforces positive perceptions. When negative thoughts or fears arise, acknowledge them without judgment, but don't let them dictate your story. Replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Instead of thinking, "I'm not capable," say, "I have the strength to learn and grow." Replace, "This is too difficult," with, "This is an opportunity to develop resilience." These subtle shifts influence your brain's wiring and expand the reality you create. The journey to reshaping reality through perception is also a call to embrace vulnerability. Valentina Tereshkova's flight was filled with unknowns, dangers, and risks. To step into the unknown is to accept vulnerability, uncertainty, and even failure. Yet, vulnerability opens the door to courage, creativity, and breakthrough moments. It is often when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable that we discover untapped reserves of strength and vision. Her courage to venture into space, knowing the risks involved, invites us to confront our own fears with bravery. It encourages an inner dialogue of resilience where failure does not define us but refines us. This openness creates fertile ground for optimism and hope, essential ingredients in creating a constructive reality. The mountain ceases to be a threat and becomes a challenge worthy of respect and effort. On a collective level, societies also create realities based on shared perceptions. Imagine how history might have been different if explorers, scientists, or visionaries had not dared to believe in new possibilities. Progress, innovation, and cultural evolution all begin with individuals who choose to see differently. Valentina Tereshkova's pioneering journey helped shift societal perceptions about gender roles and the boundaries of human capability. She helped change a collective reality, expanding what countless people believed was possible for women and for humanity. As we look at our own lives, we can draw inspiration from this. Perhaps you face societal expectations, systemic barriers, or self-imposed limits. Remember that these are part of the mountain, but they do not fully define your journey. Your perception, your belief in your capacity to overcome and innovate can rewrite these narratives, not just for yourself, but for those who follow. It's also critical to understand that creating your reality doesn't mean ignoring real problems. Mountains are real, avalanches are real, but how you perceive them will dictate whether you find yourself trapped at the base or climbing toward the peak. Acknowledging risk allows for preparation and strategy, while positive perception fuels the persistence needed to proceed despite uncertainty. One practical way to cultivate empowering perception is through visualization. Athletes and leaders alike use this tool to mentally rehearse success scenarios. When Valentina prepared for Her mission? She visualized not only the technical aspects but also her confidence and calm during the flight. This practice reinforces the brain's ability to perceive the desired outcome as possible and tangible. In your own life, try imagining the successful completion of your mountain climb. Engage your senses in this visualization. Feel the wind at the summit, hear the sounds of accomplishment, and see the path that led you there. This positive mental framing builds neural pathways that support goal achievement. Another powerful practice is gratitude. When we focus on what we have and what is going well, our perception shifts from scarcity to abundance. Even during struggle, gratitude helps us see the resources available, the lessons learned, and the support systems that can aid us. This optimistic perspective expands what we believe is possible. Ultimately, creating your own reality is an ongoing journey. It involves daily choices to perceive differently, challenge old narratives, and embrace courage. Valentina Tereshkova's story reminds us that no circumstance, no matter how daunting, is fixed. Reality is flexible, shaped by belief, action, and perseverance. As you move forward, remind yourself that every great achievement starts with a single step fueled by a vision. The mountain may be steep, avalanches may roar, but you have the power to see the path, to climb, and to transform your reality. Let the legacy of pioneers who embraced possibility inspire you. Your potential is vast, your reality is yours to shape, and the summit awaits those who dare to believe. Having explored the vital link between perception and reality and drawn wisdom from Valentina Tereshkova's groundbreaking journey, it becomes clear that the power to shape life lies within each of us. Her story is not merely about space exploration. It is a beacon for anyone seeking to transcend limitations and create a life defined by purpose, courage, and expansion. As we stand at our own crossroads facing mountains of doubt, fear, or uncertainty, remember that how you perceive these mountains determines not only your experience but also the reality that unfolds. This truth holds immense promise. No external circumstance is beyond influence. Every challenge carries within it the seeds of transformation, waiting for the spark of perception to ignite them. Valentina's journey highlights the significance of embracing the unknown with curiosity rather than fear. In space, she encountered the vast silence and emptiness that could have overwhelmed the faint-hearted. Instead, she embraced it as a frontier for human achievement. In our lives, the unknowns, whether a new job, a relationship, a personal goal, can be spaces of growth, if we choose to perceive them as such. When we reframe fear as excitement and challenge as opportunity, we invite an expansive reality. Moreover, creating our own reality requires aligning thought, emotion, and action. It is not enough to simply imagine success or perceive possibility in abstract terms. Valentina's mission was supported by years of disciplined training, preparation, and unwavering focus. This integration of mind and action allows perception to manifest tangibly in the world. Dreams shaped by clear intent and sustained effort become realities. This alignment also invites us to take responsibility for our narratives. It can be tempting to blame circumstances or others for the hardships we encounter. While external factors certainly influence life, clinging to victimhood limits growth. Valentina's story encourages agency, choosing to own your story, actively craft perceptions, and respond with purpose rather than reaction. This proactive stance transforms hardship from a burden into a stepping stone. The journey of creating reality is also deeply connected to self-belief. Doubt often clouds clarity and diminishes motivation. Yet, self-belief is the foundation upon which perception constructs possibility. When you believe you deserve success, respect, and happiness, you naturally begin to interpret the world through a lens that supports these outcomes. Valentina's unwavering belief in herself and her mission was the bedrock of her success. How can we cultivate this self-belief? One way is through affirmation statements grounded in truth that reinforce personal value and capability. Another is through reflection on past successes, no matter how small. Each victory is evidence that you can overcome, adapt, and thrive. Valentina did not start as an astronaut. She built that reality step by step, fueled by belief and persistence. It's also vital to surround yourself with narratives and people that uplift. Valentina was part of a community of cosmonauts, scientists, and supporters who shared a vision for the impossible. Your reality will shape and be shaped by your environment. Seek inspiration, mentorship, and companionship that reflect your desired perception and reality. Furthermore, creating reality requires resilience in the face of setbacks. No journey is smooth. Mountains come with avalanches, metaphorical and literal, and there will be moments of doubt and difficulty. However, each setback is a chance to realign perspective, strengthen resolve, and advance with greater wisdom. Valentina faced risks that could have ended her mission before it started, yet she persisted. This resilience is a testament to the power of perception in sustaining momentum. In our fast-changing world, the ability to adapt perception and thus reality is increasingly essential. Whether navigating career shifts, personal transformations, or broader societal challenges, those who cultivate flexible, positive perceptions open doors to innovation and solutions. Valentina's pioneering flight was a leap into unknown territory. Today, her mindset can inspire us all to embrace change and turn uncertainty into opportunity.
Finally, the idea that we create our own reality invites us to live consciously. Instead of drifting through life, reacting to external events, we become active participants in shaping our experiences. This consciousness involves mindful attention to our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, choosing those that empower rather than limit us. Imagine waking each day with the intention to see possibility, to trust in your strength, and to approach challenges as invitations rather than threats. Picture facing your mountains with curiosity, equipped with the knowledge that your perception will carve out paths unseen. This approach transforms life from a series of obstacles into a remarkable adventure. Valentina Tereshkova's story is not a distant legend, but a mirror for all who seek to live authentically empowered. Her journey reminds us that the mountains we face are not outside us, but within our own minds as much as in the world. By choosing a mindset of possibility, courage, and belief, we transform not only our reality, but the legacy we leave behind. As you move forward, carry this truth in your heart. You possess the power to create the reality you desire. What you perceive now shapes what will be. See beyond limitation. Embrace your adventure. Step boldly into your summit, knowing that your reality is yours to create, your journey yours to define. Your life's mountain awaits. What will you see?